Hi, I'm Annette Marcus, and I'm welcoming you to AIB's It Tastes Jewish. And if you have any questions or would like to see the recipes, you could check out www.aibtv.com/It Tastes Jewish. Today we're going to have a great time because we're going to be making challah. And challah is a very important, wonderful part of our Shabbat on Friday evenings. So today we're going to be making challah French toast and challah from scratch. And I've invited my Rabbi Analia Bortz from Congregation Or Hadash, to be with us today. It's an opportunity to talk a little bit about the significance of challah in a Jewish way, and also to let you know that we are an egalitarian conservative synagogue in Sandy Springs. Our doors are always open, and we would love to have all of you come and visit us. Rabbi Bortz.
Shalom, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to remind us that Judaism is always around the table. Judaism is about telling the stories about around the table, and it's about passing the stories from one generation to the next. So we have symbols, and these symbols are the lighting of the candles for Shabbat, the blessing of the wine for the Shabbat, and also, of course, our delicious challah, which is bread, and that reminds us of the sacrifices that were done at the Temple of Jerusalem. The challah is bread. And bread is the symbol of food. We did receive in the time of the desert 2 portions every Friday, so we did not have to work on Shabbat, on the 7th day, because we are made in the image of God. And the idea is that since God rested on the 7th day, we also rest on the Sabbath, on the Shabbat, on the 7th day. So on Friday, according to our tradition and our text in the Torah, in the 5 books of Moses, we receive a double portion in order to make for ourselves a moment in which we were able to thank God for the bounty that we receive every day. We put salt on our challah, our delicious challah. The idea is that the salt was taking the blood away from the sacrifices that were done in the Temple of Jerusalem. So the challah is a reminder of those sacrifices. We are also very, very welcome to add some honey in order to make it very sweet. As we taste the challah, we make a blessing. We thank God for the bounties that we receive every single day, for bringing us the piece of earth that nurtures our soul and our minds and our tummies as well. And then we share it with our people, with the people that we love the most. So challah for everybody. Amotzi lechem min haaretz. Thank you, God, for bringing the bread out of earth. So let's enjoy this beautiful piece of bread, and also, of course, this delicious meal that they are going to prepare for us. First, we bless the candles for the Sabbath, and then we bless our wine. So we don't want the challah to understand that the wine is more important than the challah. So we don't say anything. We bless the wine, that is a symbol of life, and it's a reminder that we were slaves in Egypt and that God liberated us. And after doing that and washing our hands, we come and voila, there is the challah, and the challah feels like the princess or the queen of the moment of the meal. And so we cover the challah just not to embarrass the challah while we make the other blessings.
Beautiful.
Thank you for inviting me.
My pleasure. I'm here with my sister and very best friend, Evie Sacks, and together we're going to make some challah. She is the queen of making challah and has been ever since she was in high school. And for some reason, because I think I was in college, I missed the opportunity to learn. And so I'm happy that I didn't learn because she is the one to do it. So Ev, take it away.
Thank you, Annette. Very fun to be with you on this show. I have been making challah since I was a teenager, and a cousin of mine wanted to have some fun one day, and he said, let's do this. And like 6 hours later, the kitchen was a complete disaster with flour flying everywhere. We had no idea what we were doing. It came out amazingly well. And so I have not really left that recipe for many, many years. It's very fun. I think you'll all enjoy making it. What we're going to do is basically do the dry ingredients, do the wet ingredients, the liquid ingredients separately, combine them, let it rise, and that's really the process, like any bread baking process. We're going to start with 5 cups of flour. Does not have to be bread flour, but if you like bread flour, go for it.
You could use either type?
You can.
Bread or regular?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Definitely not self-rising.
No, that would not be good because we're going to use yeast separately. There is 3/4 cup of sugar. This is not gluten-free, it is not calorie-free, and it is not sugar-free. There's great challah with all kinds of other sweeteners. I use straight-up sugar. 1 teaspoon of salt. And the only remaining dry ingredient is 2 packages. I like this extra active yeast.
So that's like rapid rise yeast?
This one's called Rapid Rise, highly active. There's a couple different ones. Sometimes it comes in a tub and you measure it out. You'd have to kind of look and make sure that you've got the amounts correct. But this is 2 envelopes is I think the simplest and best way to do it.
Okay.
Really get all that yeast, each little grain sort of makes a difference.
It's all very important, right?
That's right. So this we've got in a KitchenAid. I like to use a dough hook for years and years, and sometimes still I do with my hands, and I do the kneading with my hands. It's wonderful. The KitchenAid is also wonderful, takes half the time. Then we've got 1.5 cups of, I call it sink hot water. Really full out boiling water is gonna kill the yeast. Don't do it, I've done it, don't do it. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is we've got our 1.5 cups of water here. We've got the 2 eggs. We've also got a half a stick of, we have parve margarine here. It has no milk products in it. If you want to make yours with butter or with a margarine with butter or dairy products, that's fine. This does not have it. And so what we're going to do is put that melted margarine right into the hot water. No big deal. And then what we're going to do is we've got these eggs. You don't want the eggs to scramble, of course. And this is pretty hot water. So I go like this from on high.
So you keep the stirring while you're going.
Yep.
And that's just going in a little bit at a time.
That's right. Woo!
Okay.
And the idea is no scramble, please. Okay? Okay, so we've got the dry ingredients. We've got the liquid ingredients. And we just gently incorporate it. It's not a matter of doing a lot of mixing at this point. And here, if you just hold on to this. And
Oh
maybe,
yeah, no slippage.
Exactly. And the idea is that as soon as you start pouring gently, you're going to really see that your yeast is active, and it's kind of exciting because you see bubbles, and that's a very good sign.
Oh, okay.
We're going to put it in the KitchenAid for about 4 minutes. And it's got the dough hook on. Set it in, lock it down, and then what we're going to do is just really put it on as low as it goes.
Very, very low speed?
Yep, as low as you have it.
Okay.
And within a very short time, you're going to be able to tell whether you need more flour. And you're like, what do you mean? The recipe says 5 cups.
Yes.
Well, today might be a little humid, a little dry. Everybody who's made bread knows you have to really be ready to respond to that. This looks very liquidy to me today, so we're going to put in extra flour. And don't be afraid. I'm going to probably end up putting most of a cup in here. And that's okay. What you're really going to look for is when the whole thing pulls away from the sides of the bowl, and it starts looking like dough, not like liquid, and it gets a little stretchy marks. It's dough. And clear the sides of the bowl just like you would on any kind of baking project. On the second rise, you'll see when we're going to do it in the braid shape, don't go away. You want to keep a good eye on it.
You have to watch it.
Yeah, because it can rise too quickly and lose its shape. On this first rise, as I've understood, more rising helps bread's flavor. And you're not going to mess it up. We still need to take it and manually mess with it just a little bit. And
while it's in the bowl, before you take it out?
A drop in the bowl.
Because you're kind of getting the crumbs from the bottom?
Exactly. And what we're going to do is take a little more of our bench flour. Not a lot. And Annette's got a terrific surface here. This is a granite surface or whatever. And it's clean. We cleaned it off really well. If you like to use, there's many other ways to do this.
What else would you use if you don't have a granite?
For years, I used just a nice, I dedicated a cutting board that had no other purpose.
Okay.
You know, like a plastic cutting board, but I just kind of reserved it for this. So kneading really is just you're pressing with your hand and you're moving the dough forward and you're watching again for that. Want to do it? See? And I'm left-handed with this. So I go like this, pull it, and bring it back. The right hand is just a little guide. And here's a happy little thing for you if you'd like to use that.
Okay.
Your hands are going to be a mess. And of course, impeccably clean hands began the process. But just to get it off your hand.
Okay, so.
What you want. Yeah, that's nice.
Bring it over.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're strong. Give it a little bit of good energy there. Back and forth. And because you've done it in the KitchenAid, you don't need but about 10 times.
Oh, okay.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to put it into a non-reactive bowl, a non-metallic bowl.
Okay, like a ceramic bowl?
Ceramic that we have here. Big plastic is fine too, whatever you like. And just, I like to spray the bowl with cooking spray.
Okay.
You're going to see a little flour here, but that's just what was on the bench. You can see it's really behaving nicely. It's stretchy, and it's really gonna do its thing. If you ever have failed yeast or whatever, the process doesn't work, you know it very quickly because nothing's happening. A lot of things are happening now. Very exciting. See the stretchy?
Yeah.
It's pretty. Okay, now if you would, turn it over on itself so that the other side gets the cooking spray.
Okay.
Flip it over.
Oh.
Done and done. And then you're going to take your saran, your cooking, what do you call that stuff?
Saran wrap.
Saran wrap, pardon me. And then pull off a good sheet. And you want to spray it because this baby is going to rise up. Pardon me, hello. Sorry. Okay, and we just lay it over very
so this protects the dough from sticking onto this.
Yep, exactly. But then you're going to take a I have my favorite challah baking towel, don't ask why. Okay, do like that. And then drop that thing in your warm place, your porch, your low oven, whatever you like, go for it.
And for how long?
Well, okay, the recipe says an hour and a half. You can go up to 4 hours, easy.
Wow.
You're not gonna hurt it. We've got one that's been rising, and bring that baby out. It's my second favorite towel.
Smells so good.
Can you smell it?
Yes. Look at that, it's gorgeous.
Well, see, you're seeing a lot of holes, and you're seeing a very active dough here, and that's what you want. The bowl is warm, and Annette, you're gonna have fun, I think. Come punch it down.
Oh, okay.
The process now is that we're going to punch it down, which really means just get the air that's risen out of it. And it'll go very quickly. It'll look all flat and you'll think, whoa, that's bad. It's not, it's fine. And while you do that, just do that, punch it down, and then drop it back onto your surface.
Oh, it feels so good. It's nice and warm and soft. And it's kind of thick.
It's alive.
It's got a nice feel to it.
Yeah, it's very alive.
I'm gonna throw it over now,
That's
right?
it, go.
Okay, no flour necessary.
A little, you've got a little drop here.
Okay.
But you see, it's really moving and going and growing, and this is a little bit warm. We'll play with it a minute and let it just cool down a second, because if you braid it and shape it when it's too warm, then what happens is that
the braid flops.
Right. What you've got here is risen challah dough, and we're gonna make 2 loaves. And I like to use this little scraper. I just really go like this. You're gonna do one and I'm gonna do one.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
And so what we're gonna do is just a pretty traditional braid. 3 braided pieces.
Okay.
But we're gonna start by dividing it in 4. The 4th piece is gonna be its own little mini braid that goes on top.
Oh, sweet.
Okay? So good and good. I mean, it does not have to be just overly perfect, amazing, because you see mine don't come out.
Okay, I'm
like
hiding this
a
little
bakery.
piece under here.
Hide it? Yeah, go for it, exactly. Okay, take 3 of your pieces.
All right.
And look, it's kindergarten. Go for it. Bring it back in, around, Play-Doh, about a 14-inch long snake. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And you see there's some nice little striations, it's breathing, it's good. So then let's do this. Let's make yours with raisins, since I already made mine with not.
Okay.
Okay? And just take a nice little handful of raisins and put them in, and they will just incorporate kind of brilliantly.
Work them in.
Yep. Yep. They just go right in there. I'll hand you another little.
Okay, I'll put them in this one.
You just, the raisins, it's very informal. Some families like it, some ours does, some don't. Sometimes I'll make, because this is a 2 bread recipe, I'll make one with and one without.
Oh yeah, a lot of people don't like it sweet, and some people just love it sweet.
There you go. All right, so braiding, super simple. I mean, many people are better braiders than I am. I'm not overly artistic on this. take your 3, give them a little pinchy twist. One over, one over. Now the thing is, I try to build a little volume in. Don't let it fall too hard on itself. Lightly braid to build in a little volume. One over, next over.
Okay.
This guy over, next guy over. Perfect. Then when you come to the end, do a
Pinch
little
him again.
fancy footwork. Tuck the knot under a little bit. Now, would you get us our sprayed hands?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Grab one for yourself, but you do not have to have any special kind of hand at all. Anything that'll hold it and hold it in, but also let the rising occur.
Okay.
You'll see what I mean in a second. Lift your loaf.
Okay.
Gently lay it in. Don't handle it overly much at this point.
Okay.
Marvelous. Okay, let's tuck this over here a sec. And you've got your other snake. You're ahead of me. I'm going to put raisins in my little top braid.
Okay. We make a little braid out of this.
Nope. What you do there is you divide the whole thing in 3.
Okay.
And then you're going to braid again.
With volume.
Yep, with volume. Oh, very nice.
Okay.
That's very cute.
Thank you.
So what we're going to do, as soon as I get mine, we're going to put them on top of the big braids.
Okay.
And nestle them in so they don't slip off. And if they do, that's also not terrible. Thank you. All right, so what we're going to do here is just kind of, as I say, kind of just lodge it on top. Get it to stay, because sometimes it really will lop over a little bit.
Yeah.
This is really it. Now, you want to, this is the next time when you're going to do your rise.
Okay.
And this really should only be about a half hour. You have to look at it. It will rise nicely again in your slightly warmed oven or on a countertop in the warm room or on the porch. You want to cover it with a towel so it does not get dry. And about a half hour, about an hour, look at it at half hour and expect about an hour. It's going to fill out. You know, it's going to get like filled out in the bottom of the pan, and it's going to raise about half again.
Okay. So, but if you do it just on a cookie sheet, it will
It'll hold together nicely.
It doesn't flatten itself.
Right.
Okay. Let's cover them over.
Okay. So we take these. Here. Our very pretty.
Very pretty.
Thingy. I think you bought me these actually.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. It rose so beautifully. It's just so sweet and comfortable looking.
Poofy.
It looks so happy.
Yeah. Do you have your oven on to 350?
I do.
Okay. You've got a couple eggs here with a drop of water.
Okay.
Just loosely
Mixed together.
mixed.
Okay.
And just very gently. At this point, the dough is poofy and it's delicate.
Okay.
And
just lightly glaze it.
Get in there. You have to really glaze every crevice.
Oh, yes, because you don't want that to turn white if the rest of it's all brown.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And you're going to fully glaze it. We'll do one. The other one is rising beautifully, and we'll only take a half of this amount of egg.
Because we have 2 eggs, and you really only need like 1 egg per.
Right.
Okay. So now that we're going to have 2 challahs, we're going to have the other one for our French toast.
Great idea.
So that's why
All
this
bases
recipe
covered. Yeah,
is
right.
wonderful, because if the family doesn't eat 2 challahs, you have 1 extra that you can be making.
And it's always
a dish
traditional
with.
to serve 2 at the table.
Correct.
Like the 2 tablets, and then eat what you want or save what you want. I like to give them away to family members in plastic bags for the next day. And then I always, give it a little turn and just really make sure you've got every crevice.
Okay.
Got your happy little poppy seeds here. Tread lightly, because you don't want it to look like a black mass.
And if you aim up high.
Well, see, here's a trick.
That's
Show
right.
me. Okay, there we go.
So if you aim up high, you have a little better control of the amount that comes out.
Awesome. See, I learn from you every day.
Okay, so now we're just going to put it in the oven, 350.
Yep.
Okay. Right
It
in the
will
middle.
start to smell good really fast.
All right.
And that's fun.
Beautiful.
And people who do this at home, it's really fun. Make sure you leave the house and come back even to go get the paper.
Because it'll smell so delicious.
Right. And if you don't leave, you never know what it was smelling like when it was baking. It's very fun.
Nice. Okay, now we have this beautiful, cool challah. It is so beautiful. I'm so proud of you.
I'm so proud of you.
I love you.
Love you.
Okay, so now I'm going to slice.
Okay.
And if I guess I was having 5 or 6 people, I would probably slice just normal pieces. But if I was having like maybe 12 or 15, I guess I could cut down this way.
Beautiful.
And then cut in pieces.
Beautiful, because then it's not a huge piece.
Yes.
And also it depends on how different families like it.
Look at the texture.
It's pretty.
I'm just going to break it apart.
Right, and some families don't slice at all, as you know.
Correct.
They just grab hunks.
Right.
And that's cool.
Okay. You'll have the first bite.
No, you.
Please.
Okay. You get yours together, we'll have it together.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming and making this beautiful
A ball.
bread. This is just
actually,
nice.
I can't believe we've never done this.
I know. We've done lots of other things.
L'chaim.
Cheers. As beautiful as ever. I'm so lucky because my sister makes challah for us every Shabbat. Thank you.
And my sister makes food for us every day.
On the second challah that we prepared together, I didn't put any sesame or poppy seeds on it because I already had in mind that I was going to be making some French toast for Sunday brunch. So this recipe is wonderful because you can prepare it a day or two ahead because it has to refrigerate overnight anyway. So first I'm going to take my challah and I'm going to slice it into pieces. And after that, I'm going to put it into little cubes. So first we'll slice it into as many thick slices as your challah will bear. And we're going to be using about 1.5 pounds of challah. So first of all, we're just going to cut the bread into sections like this. And then we're going to cut across into thirds or fourths, depending upon how big the corner of the slice is. Okay, and then I'm going to take these challah cubes and place them into this bowl. And in this bowl will go all of the challah by the time I'm finished. And then I'm going to use my egg and milk mixture and let the bread soak for a few minutes so that it gets nice and coated. The important thing is to make sure that you have a big enough bowl because you want the bread to be able to soak with the egg and the milk mixture for a few minutes before you put it and start to bake it. Okay, now that I've got the challah in here, I'm going to put into my mixer some eggs and some half and half and some sugar and vanilla. So I'm going to put in 9 eggs. So now I've got 9 eggs into this bowl, my mixer, and I'm going to put 2 2/3 cups of half and half. You could use all milk if you wanted to. You could use milk and half and half, depending on how rich you would like it to be. Here's 2 cups. We're going to add 1/3, 2/3 cup more. And the next thing we're going to be adding is 3 tablespoons of sugar. I'm just going to sprinkle that in there. And it's going to start to dissolve before we turn the mixer on. And I'm going to add some vanilla. And I'm going to be adding some cinnamon and nutmeg. And then I'm going to turn the mixer on with a dash of salt as well. I'm going to turn the mixer on and let it go for a few minutes until you're sure that the egg yolks have really broken themselves up. Okay, we can tell that this is definitely ready because the eggs are well beaten together and the cinnamon and sugar is rising to the top. The cinnamon and nutmeg is rising to the top. So I'm going to pour this over the bread mixture and just let it soak for a few minutes until everything seems like it's pretty well coated. And I'm just going to move the bread around just a little bit so any of the egg that might have fallen down to the bottom will help to coat the bread cubes. Everything is nice and coated, and I'm going to take my Pyrex pan and I'm going to spray it with a little bit of baking spray. And I'm going to pour the mixture into the Pyrex. Looks like it'll never fit, but it will. And we're going to take the spatula and move it around just a little bit so that everything is nice and even. Okay, now I'm going to take my topping mixture and I'm going to take 2 sticks of butter and I'm going to put it into the pan on a very low fire and And I'm going to take the butter and cut it into little small cubes. Because when you're making a topping with brown sugar, you kind of want it to caramelize. You want to make sure that you do it on low and that the butter is the same size in each cube. This way, when it melts, it's going to go evenly. I'm going to put in a half a cup of brown sugar and a half a cup of dark brown sugar. And that brown sugar is going to give it, the dark brown sugar is going to give it an extra tanginess. So I'm going to put this into here. And then I'm going to add to that also some corn syrup. And this corn syrup will help to thicken up the caramel and to make it nice and smooth and even. And then after that, I'm going to add a little bit more cinnamon to this and give it a few minutes to start to melt. This topping makes this French toast so delicious because it gives it a very rich and caramel kind of a feeling to it. You can almost start to smell it just from this part right here. So you can see how the butter has started, the little tiny pieces are just left and everything has come together in a nice sauce, a nice thick sauce. And once the butter just starts to coagulate into your sugar, you can tell that it's gonna bubble up a little bit on the sides and it's ready to pour over to your French toast. Nice and smooth. Okay. I'm going to pour this over the top of the breadcrumbs, just slowly and evenly. You want to go slowly so it doesn't fall out of the Pyrex, but you want to try to get as much on every little piece as you can. I'm going to put it into the refrigerator. I'm going to cover it over and let it sit or overnight. And then when I get up tomorrow, I'm going to put it in the oven and it's going to be ready for brunch. This is cooked for 30 minutes, and I let it sit for a couple of minutes, and it just settles down for just a drop of time, and then you can sprinkle some powdered sugar on it, give it a little color. You could also put some fresh blueberries on the top, or serve some blueberries on the side, or you could use blueberry syrup, just in case you need a little more decadence. And I'm gonna get a plate and scoop some up so you can see how nice it is inside. You can just feel and hear that nice soft bread. So pretty. And the nice part is that the crust seems to get very soft and it's not too hard. It's very soft and delicious. In order to obtain the recipes that we demonstrated today and any other information, please contact us at www.aibtv.com/ittastesjewish. If you have any questions or comments about the programming, please contact us at programming@aibtv.com.